Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Identity Theft Protection Workshop. Today we have Jared and Justin here from Fifth Third Bank, and they're going to give you some helpful tips. I'm going to turn it over. Give them a round of applause.
Now, we're here today to educate everyone a little bit on identity theft, common scams, how to protect yourself. So what I want to start off with is hearing from the room. Has anyone that you know been affected by either identity theft or phone scams, texted scams, anything like that? There's two different types of identity theft, right? There's identity fraud and identity theft, okay? So fraud is going to be specifically related to money, okay? So what that means is someone comes into the bank, they fake your ID, and they withdraw money from the bank, right? The second type is going to be identity theft, which is the word that we hear thrown around a lot, and the difference doesn't seem that important. But identity theft is a whole lot scarier. And the reason for that is that it involves actually stealing your identity, okay? So one of them is just, oh, we're just going to access your account, take some money. Well, you can file a claim with the bank. You can get that back. No big deal, right? When it comes to identity theft, that's when someone has assumed your identity. This is some of the effects that people who've experienced identity theft have had. So some of them have to request government assistance, right? Now, part of the problem with that is you have all these bad things on your record. It's hard to apply for stuff now. Maybe you're already getting government assistance, but it's not actually you. You had to pay for expenses using your savings account. I know especially in the senior community, a lot of us store all of our money in our savings accounts, and having to tap into that, that's never a good thing, right? Some people have to go out and borrow money because let's say that it's going to be a multiple month dispute on whether you actually sent a $60,000 wire. Well, what are you going to do in the meantime, right? They just emptied your accounts. You're going to have to borrow money to keep surviving. So it's a scary thing. These are some examples of the different ways that people would use your identity. They would make transactions. That goes back to fraudulent checks deposited into your account. And you'd think, oh, well, that's great. I'd love more money. The issue is, that comes back to you. And then it looks like you're the one depositing fraudulent checks into your own account. They could commit fraud, like that. Commit cyber crimes, right? Get prescriptions in your name, receive free medical treatment attached to you, so it's not very free. So we're going to go over this a little bit. Personally identifiable information. Do you guys know any examples of what would be considered personally identifiable information? This is just some ways that people can steal your identity or your, financials. Social security number, your name, your birthday, address, driver's license, someone mentioned that. Passport, marriage and divorce records, insurance cards, credit and debit cards, personal checks, email addresses, right? That's a big one. We have a lot of stuff attached to our emails. That's why it's important you don't click sketchy links. Part of what we have to worry about is biographical data and biometric data, right? And that's not something that traditionally we've worried about too much. But now you have to worry about your image getting to the wrong people, your voice getting to the wrong people, right? You even have to worry about your phones getting to the wrong people, right? I know a lot of people don't use lock screens on their phones. Can some of you think of the problem with not using a lock screen on your phone?
I can pick it up and use it.
Yeah, anyone can pick it up and use it. Medical data. So that goes back to things like, I have a prescription with CVS on this day. Well, if someone knows that you have a prescription that they want going to CVS, that's important information. It's something that you can't let get out there, right? Financial data. Something that I've noticed a lot of seniors like to use is checks. How many of you ever write checks? So here's the problem with a check. It's got your name, your address, your routing number, your account number, all on the front of it. We don't recommend using checks at all if you can avoid it, and if you have to, be like money orders or cashier's checks, or even like an online bill pay. Here's some different ways that people go about getting your information, because a lot of you aren't just going to tell them, right? I mean, if someone gets on the phone and says, hey, what's your social? You're not just going to be like, oh yeah, here it is. So the most common way, I would say, is probably mail fraud. And that's a big one. So basically, people will go into your mailbox. Now, I think you'd have to worry about that a little bit less here. You guys probably have secured mailboxes. But really, it still comes down to protecting everything that you have, right? And so that means don't get paper statements with important information on them, unless you have to, right? Obviously, there's situations in which you do. Since I started this job, I realized the dangers of shoulder surfing, and that's something I hadn't even thought of myself. Basically, let's say someone's sitting in the back over there, not pointing at anyone in particular, and you're up here, right? And you're logging into your bank. You're like, well, now I'm worried. They're talking about all this stuff. Let me just double check, make sure everything's good. Well, back there, they got a phone camera, zooms into 50x now. They can see exactly what you're typing in. Yeah. How many of you would have thought that was a thing? It's crazy out there, guys. Be careful. So I would recommend just double checking. Make sure there's no one around you, no one looking over your shoulder, right? Before you do stuff like that. Yes, ma'am?
I've heard of it, but they say don't, if you're women with their purses on their side or the men with billfolds and back, they even have something you can read. Yep. That's your credit card through. Is that possible? Because they sell you the billfolds with a foil in it and all
so
that.
it is possible. I think it's less common than people think. I think that was a big worry people had. But at the end of the day, yes, phishing emails, okay? So what you'll find is that they look official.
Do you guys notice anything? I was going to say, do you guys notice anything about the email address?
But that is not a real bank domain. See how it's misspelled? Natomao. But at first glance, it looks great.
Right.
And the scary thing is that they've recently found ways to make it actually say what it's supposed to say. First thing, generic greeting. Dear customer. Well, if it's your bank reaching out to you, they're going to know your name. Second thing, unprofessional language. If you do nothing, your money will be gone. Banking is slow. It doesn't happen that fast. Fake login pages, that's huge. So that's one of the main risks with receiving these emails, is that you click this, it's going to look legit. When you enter your information, it's going to come up with some sort of error, say not valid, something along those lines, but now they have all of your login information for your real bank. So it is someone who pretends to come in, take care of you, they're nice for no reason. They come in and they say, hey, I'm your son, let me help you. And so what happens is that you give power of attorney to someone that you don't know, because they're helping you, physically. They can help you financially too, right? And now legally, obviously, you're going to be protected, and that, power of attorneys have to act on behalf of the beneficiary, right? The issue is that once the money's gone and it turns out that Mr. Ali never actually, existed, how did they get that money back? They don't. So here's some red flags that you have been affected by identity theft or fraud. Denial of services, denial of credit cards, unusual charges, right? A lot of times it's not as simple as, hey, just this one thing happened. Got to cancel the card, let the bank know, right? They have procedures in place to put flags on your account saying, hey, this is a possible identity theft customer. They've been affected. We need to protect them. Sometimes it'll be, like Justin just said, an unusual call from a debt collector, right? That's a pretty red flag. I mean, if you get called by a debt collector and you don't have outstanding debt, identity theft. Unusual increases in insurance or interest rates. From the IRS, there could be reports indicating that more than one person has filed using your social, or maybe you've already filed a return. It's not always as simple as, hey, I forgot I filed. Incorrect medical history, incorrect medical bills. Could be lost mail. That goes back to people opening up your mailbox. It might be a federal offense. Doesn't mean people won't do it. Some of the things that you should do, monitor your accounts, right? So I know a lot of our senior population doesn't like online banking, and that's a valid concern, right? But part of the benefit of online banking is that you can check every day, every week, whenever you like to check, verify your balances and say, oh, that doesn't match what I should have, what's wrong, right? And that'll let you know a lot faster than when you get your monthly statement, hey, something's wrong, my bank account's negative, right? Because that doesn't make sense. Monitor your financial statements, pretty much same thing. Online safety, we've already talked about that. Secure your important documents. Don't just throw them away. Shred them or store them in a lockbox. Do be aware of your surroundings. Don't let people look over your shoulders when you're typing important information in. Do a quick check. What you should not do is don't go to Panera and use their guest Wi-Fi without a password to log into your bank account. Do it in a secure place. Do it at home. Don't click unknown links in emails. Don't open suspicious attachments attached to emails or even texts. Don't go out to websites that phone numbers tell you to go to. The first step is obviously to collect information and assess the damage, right? See, okay, what's happening? Is it just my credit card? Is it my bank account? Is it my whole thing? Right? What's going on? Second step, obviously these steps would be performed very close together, would be to call your bank, call your credit card company, let them know. Say, hey, I've been a victim of identity theft. Please freeze my accounts, lock my accounts down. I got to figure out what's going on, right? Call the credit bureaus. Say, hey, I have someone that's stolen my identity. I need to lock my credit. Then report it to the FTC, fraud departments, and law enforcement, okay? And that gets the ball rolling to repairing the damage, okay? I know a lot of credit bureaus do have resources on how to start repairing from that. Any of you have any questions or clarifying points that I could make for you?
So you're saying personal checks aren't good anymore, basically?
Yes, that's the bank's stance on it.
Even money orders or
Yeah, so
certified checks?
money orders and cashier's checks, those are going to be different because so that moves your money into a bank's account, right? So if it's Wells Fargo, it's Wells Fargo's account, and they know exactly what it's written for, the date it was written, they know everything about the check. So if anything changed on the check, they would know and they would decline it. Does that make sense?
Money orders you could fill out after you purchase them, but cashier's checks, yeah.
Money orders are a little bit more risky,
Right.
but still
It's still
significantly less risky than personal checks.
I don't know if most of us have a lot of money in the savings of the banking account, like you say, enough to draw. I think most of us are smart enough to invest that money or to put it forward to the children or whomever to protect yourself, you know.
Identity theft isn't just banking. That's a little bit what we touched on in the beginning, was that it's assuming your whole identity, right? So if they get enough information about you, it's not just your bank that you have to worry about. I just use that example a lot because I, work at a bank.
I did too.
But it could be, like I said, your Medicare,
Yeah.
or it could be your investment accounts, right? Because if they have enough information on you, why stop at just your banking?
Thank you to Justin and Jared for spending their time volunteering and bringing you these helpful tips today. So
Thank you.
thank you all for coming.